to the show.
Thank you.
Congratulations. This was your directorial debut. And you know, debut, and not only is that, I would think, pretty stressful, being a first-time director, but when you directed this movie, you were pregnant at the same time?
Yeah.
So how was that with the hormones?
Well, I don't recommend it. Look, making a film about faith,
yes,
it requires an enormous amount of courage. I think making an indie film requires an enormous amount of faith, and then
because it's not an enormous amount of money.
No, and then to to do it pregnant on top of that it requires unsurmountable faith, and I went mental often, but at the same time I felt like Gitta. I had her moxie too. She's gonna be nine months old tomorrow. So at the same time, it was my second. Gitta. Gitta. It means gift.
So you have two children. That's Finn. Finn is 2 years old. And then you have the baby 9 months old. And when tell me something. You had the baby and you wanted to give birth naturally, which right there that's hard. But you went to a birthing center. Now, your experience at a birthing center sounds like you were at a gymnasium. Tell us about
you can hang from the ceiling, you can bounce on balls, you can play Twister, whatever gets the job done. And I think that's the way it should be. I think.
What, were you lying down when the baby
tried
was born,
everything.
or were you hanging from the ceiling?
Kind of both. I tried everything. I mean, I gave birth to 10-pounders, and for some reason, my uterus.
Girl, that was a man.
Births babies in this direction. Yeah.
Wow.
And so they had to. Yeah.
Getting back to the film, Vera, it's about a woman who is raised in or a part of a very sort of tight insular Christian community and family. But you say, I read that that it's really more of a location rather than a huge aspect. It could be placed against the backdrop of any culture, any religion. It's really about a woman finding herself. And you wanted to be very respectful of the religion in the movie.
Well, yeah, but I don't have a bone to really pick with it. I think the purpose of religion is a positive one. I didn't, for me, tackling the subject matter, I didn't want to comment on fundamental Christianity. I wanted to comment on fundamental humanity, and and kind of our foibles and imperfections and our yearning and that sort of desire that we all have, no matter if we look to Islam for faith or we look to sweat lodges, and to me. This is a character in search of faith within all these love relationships in her life. And I guess it gets a lot of, films about spirituality are rare. And I find they either mock religion or the message is most important. And I really just wanted to kind of make a different kind of film.
I was watching the movie and there's a girl who plays you as a teenager.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, boy, where did they cast that girl? She looks just like Vera Farmiga. And it turns out it was your sister.
Well,
16, right? Isn't she 16?
She's 20, how many years? 21 years younger than you.
21 years apart, same parents. My mom's an Uber breeder. And she's the runt of the litter. And that was my sort of...
How many kids are there in your family? Seven. And you are the oldest, middle?
I'm second oldest, first girl.
But your husband also has, what, 7 kids?
One of 7.
One of 7 also.
Oh, big family.
Just out of curiosity, how many are you expecting to have?
Look, if we'd met early, I dig my husband. I think he's
That's a good thing.
Tell us a line about him. And we've already discussed all the things you should never say.
What he shouldn't say? Well, he shouldn't say to me that my C-section scar looks like a frown.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Only if he wants to make you laugh.
I just wanted to switch gears just a little bit because I wanted to talk about Up in the Air, which you were in. You got a Best Supporting Actress nomination for Up in the Air. We loved you in that film. And we loved it because you were the male. You were just
the feminist movie.
Absolutely. And in that movie, though, bringing it back to sexuality, you got to be in bed with George Clooney. A lot of us have never been in bed with George Clooney. We dig him. Except Whoopi. What was it like being with George Clooney?
Being in bed with George, well, on a film set, it's like you've been waiting, at the front of, I've been waiting in a long, sweaty line for that new ride at Six Flags, and and you get there and they close the park down due to thunderstorms because you don't actually get to sleep.
Yeah. I know what it is.
You did not say, is that all there is?
I mean, I did get to kiss him, and certainly I could tell you
Vera,
about that, but it's hard to do it without
thank you
retaining
so much for coming. We love you. Congratulations. Our thanks to Vera Farmiga. Higher Ground opens in New York and LA August 26th.
Welcome to Glad TV. Thanks, Skylar. Let's go to last night's highlights. Look what